excited.
Top,
I'm excited.
top,
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Junior garlic
excited.
bacon butter.
I'm excited.
Junior garlic
I'm excited.
butter bacon
I'm
burger.
excited.
Junior garlic butter bacon burger. Junior garlic butter bacon burger.
I just want it right now.
It's episode 7 of Film Room with Chris Jans, Adam Young with Coach, and we're going to talk about an individual here today for our topic. Trev Queen is our film discussion here today. And Coach, before we roll the film and fans get to relive how great of a player he was, you got to see him become a great teammate and a great person during his time here.
Anybody that follows our program has a pretty good idea of Trevelin's background, and he bounced around some schools before he arrived. In the fall of his junior year, he got here late and needed a waiver to be eligible for his junior year, which we obviously were thrilled to get. But he had a long path, a long journey to where he is now, and it was great to be a small part of it, and it certainly was a lot of fun to see him grow, certainly on the court, but probably more importantly, off the court. The difference in Trevelin Queen from his junior year to his senior year, and how he approached practice and how he approached just his daily regimen of life was pretty special. I'm not sure if I ever remember anybody changing quite that much in a short period of time like Trev did, and very proud of him, very excited for him, very happy for him, and can't wait to see what's in store for him.
We're going to see defense, shooting ability, athleticism. He was kind of the total package in some regards.
He was. He grew, especially on the defensive end. I'm not sure he knew how to spell defense before he arrived here. He was definitely a renowned offensive player before arriving at New Mexico State, but he bought into it, and that credit needs to go to him.
As we see the defensive plays to start, how much of it is instincts and athleticism?
Most of it, to be honest with you. He had an uncanny knack of getting his hands on balls. Certainly his length helped him. He had great anticipation, as you can see here. And it would get in trouble at times too, to be honest with you. But I mean, you can't teach that. You can't teach him seeing that pass, anticipating that pass, and then having the burst, the length to deflect it, and then go finish it on the other end. Trev was certainly motivated by the ball. It's something that we really worked on him to try to get better at. But you know, when you sat over there on the sideline and they were playing real games, it was nice when he'd make those game-changing steals or blocks. And he just, like I said, he had a really good skill and eye for getting his hands on the basketball and turning defense into offense in a quick way.
The tail end of 2 years ago and then all last year, when you needed a play, more often than not, did it come from him?
A lot of times it did. You know, there you go, he had a big block, game-saving block. He was never afraid of the big moment. And again, you know, we're not a big shot blocking team. We're one of the worst shot blocking teams in the country, so it's not something we're teaching. He's just doing it on his own from playing so much basketball, having the instincts. He needed to get better on the ball than he was off the ball, and credit to him, especially down the stretch. He really bought into it, and I think he's a way better defender now than he was when he's arrived. But all the stuff he did off the ball was pure instincts. Certainly we're trying to put him in the right spot as a help defender, but his knack for getting his fingertip or his whole hand on a basketball defensively was really, really good.
He was listed 6'6", but the wingspan made him, what, 6'9", 6'10"-ish?
Yeah, I don't know how big his wingspan was off the top, but he played much bigger than he was. He was an excitable player, you know. Again, big block, game's tied 68 all, and he makes the big block. This was something that it was a perfect fit for him. He was a pretty good offensive rebounder in his own right, and then the way we teach it, he flourished that way. I mean, he just would get so many big offensive rebounds, and those are backbreakers. And then once he got it, he was such a good finisher around the rim. He could right hand, left hand, just really, really slithery that way, and just slide in that lane and come from different angles, and he could really finish. So what a great finish with his left hand after getting the offensive rebound.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he was a guy you better check out. You better be aware of him, or he'll make the big play. And then passing again, a really good passer. Really good passer. Sometimes it would get him in trouble. You know, he would see a play developing where maybe his teammate wasn't on the same page, and we had to get him to understand that pass it to where they're at, not to where you want them to be. But as time went on, he got to be a better and better decision maker. But he had a flair for these type of passes where you're just like, where'd that come from? And I'm sure the players loved playing with him because of that. He was a willing passer. Here he showed some great patience, let it develop late. That's a hard pass. Got us a 2-point basket. But again, just really good at seeing the floor, willing passer. With his size and his length, he could pass it over the defense, which is a nice advantage to have. And then one of his best qualities was cutting without the ball. I mean, he became a really good cutter. You know, he'd back cut people, they'd deny him the ball, he'd have great timing. I've always argued that being a great athlete isn't how far or how high you can jump all the time, is how quickly can you change directions? How quickly is your second jump? That's, to me, being a good basketball athlete, rather than just, you know, who can put their elbow at the white square. And Trev was one of those guys that had quickness, and he had burst, and he used it to his advantage for sure. But he was an excellent cutter without the basketball. And then, like I said, you know, he's such a good finisher that it was usually 2 points or a basket. Hard to guard that.
Yeah.
Hard to guard that. You know, just great, just post feed and Laker cut, got an easy basket.
Like you said too, Coach, I mean, he could finish with the right, the left. He's so creative, and when you're that athletic too, you can make decisions later than most.
Yeah, it really helps. It really helps. And he's a basketball player. He's built, you know, like you want most basketball players to build. Long, wiry, stronger than he looks, bouncy, and loves ball. He loves basketball, and he works at it, and he really works at it. Certainly had a reputation as a scorer before he arrived. He was a streaky shooter. I think he shot high 30s from 3, but he could really get it going, and he was never afraid of taking the big shot. You know, this probably isn't the best quality shot, but for him, if he had it going, you pretty much knew it was going in. And he had range as well. I mean, that'll help him in his pro career, wherever he ends up. Is the NBA 3 or the overseas 3 will be no problem for him. He could shoot it from behind the line with ease. That's a deep 3.
This was
You know, most Aggie fans remember this play, and you know, Bakersfield that came back. We had a big lead. We were on the road. This was 2 years ago, and Trev made a heck of a shot, you know, to win the game.
You've coached, you've recruited a lot of NBA talent. Landry Shamet and Fred VanVleet were playing in the playoffs up until about a week ago. Is he an NBA player?
You know, I'm not great at that. I've been doing this long enough where my opinion shouldn't matter much. I've never coached in the NBA. It's a different game. Some kids that have made it, I was surprised they did. And then I'm surprised when some kids don't make it. All I know is he's going to have a chance. He loves basketball. He fits their mold. You know, he could be a 3-and-D guy. I think he can really shoot the ball from deep. I think he's going to work his tail off to get better, and his buy-in is going to be much better than it ever was. And I think he's going to have a chance to play at the highest level.
Coach, thanks as always.
Thanks, Adam.
For Coach, I'm Adam Young saying so long, and thanks for joining us for Film Room with Chris Jans.